Watch this.
The dust is almost settled the day after Election Day. Some got a little dustier than others, some a little damper, and some, well, there's going to be another dust up to settle things for real. The Ada County jail bond did not pass, so we hear from the sheriff about what now and how they will handle not having an upgrade for the future. Raise a glass to Middleton. Well, soon those in Middleton will be able to raise a glass with a little more belt to it than beer. A historic and overwhelming turnaround. Decision 2023 has all but been decided. Well, not all, of course, so we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Barring any changes that arise during the canvassing of ballots over the next 2 weeks, we know the outcome of all but a couple of southern Idaho's major races. Incumbent Lauren McLean, she's going to lead Boise for 4 more years. Meridian voters say no thanks to a mayoral candidate whose last election venture was to try to dissolve public libraries. Starr is also going to keep their mayor. Middleton is not. They're getting a new one. And they'll get a chance to celebrate Jackie Hutchinson's first day on the job with a cocktail, possibly served at the Chap Wine and Tap. Middleton also passed the school levy, so did Nampa, and Caldwell will be able to expand and improve their fire response services thanks to that bond passing by just 7 votes. That was a close one and could likely see a recount. But we know of 2 races that will see a runoff. One will be for the mayor of Mountain Home after incumbent Rich Sykes only got the most votes but didn't get the required majority. Only 42% and 150 votes separated him and the second place finisher, Misty Pierce. So it was a close one there as well. The other runoff, set for next month, will be in the city of Eagle. Joe Paris has a look at the margin of error there, and the margin of victory, I should say, and the road to that runoff. Joe?
Well, Brian, first off, how about that turnout in the city of Eagle? They actually had one of the highest turnouts in the entire state. 43% of all registered voters voted in the election, so that's the final tally on this. But let's talk about the actual result from Eagle last night. We'll get to Ada County in just a second. I was getting excited before the show looking at that. But yes, you can see here that the incumbent Jason Pierce, with 35% of the vote, he has the plurality here, but not the majority. So Brad Pike and Jason Pierce, I'll circle Brad Pike right there as the city council president in Eagle. Those 2 will advance to a final election on December 5th. So on December 5th coming up, these 2 will go again. So only a few hundred votes in between those 2 candidates. Very interesting to find out exactly how the community will decide who they want to vote for. If you look at the split of the map here, Jason Pierce did a pretty nice job around the city. You see that orange there, right, though? That is Stan Ridgway. He will not make it to the final runoff, but he did have a significant support in that chunk of Eagle. If you look around, though, Brad Pike, he didn't really get any of the areas on his own, but in some of the areas, he did get a little bit of an edge. So it'll be interesting now to see how the voters in Eagle will actually split the difference of 26% plus about 6%. So 32% of the vote out there. Again, the runoff will be December 5th between Pierce and Pike, and we'll have extended coverage heading into Election Day Part 2. And I did speak to Mayor Jason Pierce this morning, and I asked if he was surprised about landing in a runoff.
No, not at all. You know, having 4 people, it's so hard to get 50 plus 1 in any election. And so this happened, I think, in 2007 when 4 people ran. And so it was kind of expected to happen. Well, I think it's just we just need to keep getting our message out to more and more people. You know, you can only hit so many people at a time, and now we got another month to hit more. As we've been able to talk to people, we really, you know, seem to feel that they get what we're doing and what we're trying to do through the community, and it kind of takes away all the lies and all the, you know, misrepresentations of what people think is happening, and make sure they really know what is happening.
So as mentioned, the other finalist for December 5th, Mr. Brad Pike, Eagle City Council President, he shared a statement with me today, and I'll read this. He says, quote, "The results with a strong 64% demanding change have shown that Eagle seeks a new direction, one that truly values its citizens' voices. My unwavering commitment is to bring about the positive changes we need, focusing on effective planning, delivering on the needs of our citizens, and improved police protection to our beloved community." And the support, he says, goes beyond a vote. He says it's a shared division for an excellent Eagle. So we're working to get an in-depth look for the voters in Eagle on the differences between those two candidates. But as candidate Pike pointed out, there's 2/3 of the votes here basically that basically was not for the incumbent. So it'll be interesting to see how that splits up. Another topic that we're talking about here, it ended on one of the slimmest margins possible, the Ada County jail bond. And if you take a look here, it may be confusing, and I've seen some questions here today. We told you needed the 2/3 support to see the Ada County jail bond pass. Well, it didn't. 66% is not technically 2/3. You need 66.667%, which this did not reach. Super duper interesting. So will there be a recount? It looks like the answer is no. Ada County Elections tells me, quote, our office has not heard of any conversation regarding a possible recount for the jail bond. The difference between pass and fail was 866 votes. Historically, our recounts have only shown an extremely small number of votes changing during the process. And Ada County Sheriff Matt Clifford, he posted his reaction to the failed jail bond, and he said he's disappointed it didn't pass, but he says they knew they had a tough mark to meet.
We did not do this lightly. Our agency has been working for over a decade to find alternatives to jail for people who can safely be in our community. That has been a success and will continue to do that in every way possible. As for what the future holds for the Ada County Jail, we're going to continue to be as innovative as possible and keep working on the problem. I do not have an answer today, but what I can tell you is our agency will do the best we possibly can with the resources we have.
So you heard the sheriff there, pretty transparent, Brian. He says we don't have an answer today. And it's interesting when you look at the map here, everything you see in dark, the entire county basically, except for one little precinct, which only had 11 voters, it had a majority of support in the entire county. Unfortunately, for the supporters of the bonds, yeah, you don't just need a majority, you need 2/3.
I know the sheriff is traveling today, but did he mention whether or not they want to maybe try this again some point?
I think they're still weighing their options. I spoke to Sheriff Clifford as he was traveling, and when he circles back to the Treasure Valley, we're going to sit down with him and we're going to get into some real details. But I know that there's going to be a lot of conversations at the Ada County level about what to do about alternative programs and sentencing, because whether you voted for it or not at this point, it doesn't matter. They still are overcrowded, and Ada County says they have some problems.
All right, if you have any questions about other results across southern Idaho, just check our website at ktvb.com. The election results page will tell you everything, pretty much everything that you need to know. Thanks, Joe.
It's not my EMS system. It's not a fire district system. It's the people's system, and they'll get to decide what good looks like and how to fund it.
Valley County voters made both of those decisions last night between two separate ballot items. The first, whether to restructure the Valley County Ambulance District and bring in 3 new commissioners to run it. Second, how to fund it by increasing the EMS levy rate. Voters were down with the restructuring, but they voted down the increase in taxes. So they want it, they just don't really want to pay for it right now. Vote fell just shy of the needed supermajority to pass. So what exactly does that mean? How can you vote for something that costs more money, but not vote for the money to pay for it? As it stands now, Valley County EMS services are absorbed by local fire departments. And while these new commissioners may find solutions to make EMS fully independent, actually making those changes still costs money.
Here for the first time we've ran this, I think getting at 64% is encouraging. We'll get to regroup. I think 49 votes shy from my calculations, but I think we're encouraged. We have 2 different ballot initiatives with EMS that were a little bit confusing to people. Even the EMS levy rate question, people were confused on how to answer that correctly. So I think people wanted more specific information, and I think we'll be able to come up with a better plan to present in May.
So there you go. You heard at the end there, Valley County does expect to retry this levy coming up in May. Currently, the district pulls in roughly $1.3 million a year in taxes. So without adding any more money to their budget, fire districts are now on the hook to kind of figure out how to keep Valley County EMS afloat.
For the people that don't necessarily want a beer or a wine, they have to leave Middleton and go to Star, and they're spending their money outside of the city.
Most restaurants do offer a craft cocktail menu or a cocktail menu, and for most businesses in that fact, yes, it is a huge deal. Keep Middleton dollars in Middleton.
Just hoping that we get with the times at this point.
It was a long time ago that they talked about this the first time. Behind overwhelming support, Middleton in line to start pouring shots and sliding out some mixed drinks. They've been a moist city since 1947. Bars have been free to sell beer and wine by the glass, but for more than 3/4 of a century, a city ordinance drew the line at liquor. Well, that's no more. 70% of Middletonians say it's time to unlock the liquor cabinet. So now Middleton restaurants and bars and event coordinators can apply for a state liquor license. And of course, increasing the options for income for businesses is a big reason for the big support. That would be the shot. Well, the chaser is, as you heard, keeping that money in Middleton. Here's Andrew Bartline.
Cornered in the middle of town, Middleton hopes they've reached the end.
I'm very relieved because I don't want to do this again.
Where Alan Tremble spent years
This was a lot of work.
petitioning patrons for a change in liquor laws.
That's pretty much it.
He moved to Middleton in 2018.
This place empties out on the weekends and the evenings. Where is everybody? We can go down to the bar and get a margarita or a glass of whatever. No, sorry. Beer and wine.
He started asking questions at city council meetings and started collecting signatures to push for a change.
Very true.
Matt Watkins joined the front of the charge.
It's been something that people have tried to do since I was just a kid.
More than 2/3 of voters supported the ballot question, reversing a 1947 vote, in which case 111 in favor of temperance outnumbered just a single pair of drinking buddies.
I wouldn't say a change in the community, but just a change in perspective, seeing that it's not just about booze or drinking. It's more about opportunities for local businesses to succeed.
Including the Shap, owned and operated
Oh yeah,
by Adam Kenyon.
7 days a week.
Just a year into business, he's had plenty of time
Never had liquor.
But
no,
we
I should
haven't.
have brought my own bottle, right?
to rehearse.
Yeah,
No, it's all good. Well,
it's
that's
beer and
right.
wine only right now.
Beer and wine.
And already, he's counting down the seconds.
I was on the phone with the state first thing this morning, and as soon as we get word, the application's going in, and the ball will roll probably quicker than we're ready for, but we're gonna make it happen.
It's not a free-for-all. City Council still needs to cross their T's and dot their I's,
We're hopeful for the first part of the new year.
so businesses can do the same with their very own liquor license.
I feel good about it. I feel good about Middleton's future. This is going to help not only just the restaurants, but all the businesses here.
When we talked with Adam, who owns the Shap, he says he's now in line to apply for a state liquor license. Right now in Middleton, there is a license for beer and wine. He's hoping it just is another addition to what he has already been able to file. But again, he has to wait for City Council what their official decision is, not only in that regard, but also for the date on how it's going to work, along with the state, who is the one who hands out these liquor licenses,
Right.
Brian, and it is based on population.
Right.
So temperance, that word again, is in state code.
Yep.
And so I think there's a fixed number of liquor licenses for every city, and then based on population, I think every 1,500 people, your city gets another license. So Boise is going to have more than Nampa and so forth.
But the waiting lists in Boise and Garden City and Twin Falls are tremendous. So
They're
this
very
is
valuable.
wide open territory right now, at least in Middleton, for people to try to get in there, I guess.
Yeah, if somebody has one and it's grandfathered in, they're extremely valuable, but
Yeah.
they're not really transferable anymore. And
That
so,
changed, right?
Yeah, if you get a liquor license now, so somebody in Middleton in this regard, they can't resell it to somebody else. It goes away when that business is done. The next person in line steps up and gets it. The Shap says they're at the front of the line. At least they think they are.
Okay.
So once these start getting handed out, again, the first of next year is when they hope it's going to actually be enforced in law and be regulated. They hope that they're in line for it.
Well, I had no idea about this. When you first brought this to us a couple months ago when they were trying to gather signatures to get it on the ballot, they did. They're successful, and that's the success story there.
Yeah, it's 70-32, very overwhelming. I don't know what I thought it would be.
Right.
But it seems that the vast majority of people are like, let's check it out, let's do it.
Certainly more than 2 that voted for it back in 1947.
Little bit of a change.
All right, thanks, Andrew. Well, if you want more election results, all you got to do is text the word election to the same number you send us a text message, 208-321-5614. We're going to send a link directly to your phone. So the 2023 election cycle may be over, but you know what's right around the corner? That'd be 2024. You may have heard. We're going to pick who spends the next 4 years in the White House, but we're also going to pick who represents us at the Idaho State House. And for the last 30 years, it's been predominantly from one party, the Grand Old Party. Republicans have been the elected majority in Idaho since the mid-90s. And while it hasn't always been a caucus of kumbaya, lately it's become a little bit more chaotic. It's one thing for a party to shift a bit ideologically, but it's another for that party to want to purge those members who don't blindly follow along. tomorrow on the 208, we're looking at the political divide taking place within Idaho GOP. Those leading the charge call it a grassroots effort, but I guess the question is it really more of a scorched earth approach? That's tomorrow on the 208. Well, of course, there's a lot of other things going on around the 208 other than what happened yesterday and election results and all that kind of stuff. Well, there's some construction stuff, college student stuff, and committing to college sports. Here's Morgan Romero with the 411.
The groundbreaking is always such a special time.
And it's that special time again. The 2024 St. Jude Dream Home is officially under construction by the Berkeley Building Company.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
This year's home is a 2,000 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath in the Meridian Shelburne neighborhood. Tickets for the Dream Home typically go on sale in the spring. All the money raised goes right to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. There's always congratulations in order for first-generation college students. And today, Governor Brad Little declared it First Generation to College Day by signing an official proclamation. So now we have a dedicated day to celebrate. Yay! Another congratulations is in order to all the high school students who signed to play a sport today on National Signing Day. To see a full list of all the commits, head to our website, ktvb.com. And that's your 411 on the 208. I'm Morgan Romero.
right, the sun is setting over Sun Valley. I thought I'd bring you a live look. Clear skies over Bald Mountain, 34 degrees right now. A bit brisk up in Sun Valley. It's been brisk across the region, especially the lower elevations where that wind has been in effect for most of the day today. Sun setting over Boise as well. Beautiful sunset out there with no clouds at all. So you have a nice clear view of the sun going down. 48 degrees right now. Winds have let up just a little bit. We're at 7 miles per hour in the City of Trees right now. Calm as you head out towards the lower Treasure Valley. Also starting now with the loss of the sun to die down in the Magic Valley, but still those wind chills have been in the 30s for much of the day out towards Twin Falls. And the wind, I know when you have to rake the leaves, is a bit of a nuisance. So the good news is, as you look at our raking forecast for the next couple of days, maybe a little breezy tomorrow, lighter winds Friday. There is a chance of some rain Friday morning. So if we do get that shot of precipitation, your ground might be just a little bit damp, but still tomorrow we should be nice and dry as far as those conditions go, with more sunshine, especially for the daytime hours on Thursday. Clouds will increase tomorrow evening, though, ahead of this next system that will come in and that will suppress the high pressure that's been in control for the last couple of days. And that will also bring that quick shot of precipitation, possibly Friday morning. It'll be brief, not even anything measurable anticipated really in the valleys, but we could see a quick shot of mountain snow early Friday. All right, tonight with those clear skies, temperatures will drop down to very frosty levels across the lower elevations. If you park outside, it'll be a day where you're scraping that windshield. Mid-20s for most of the Treasure and Magic Valleys. Stanley will hit the single digits tomorrow morning. McCall, you'll start off at 19 degrees in the morning, but our Thursday afternoon will warm a touch over today. Boise likely up to 53 degrees. Our high for today was 50. So a little bit more mild, especially when you see the winds lighter for tomorrow afternoon. That will be nice as well. And hey, we'll stay dry through the weekend. That is great news for the Boise State game on Saturday, 8 o'clock kickoff. It'll be dark and cool, 44 degrees at 8 o'clock by the time the game wraps up, down around 40 or so. So it's a blackout, so plan accordingly. You'll want that extra blanket and all the layers. And of course, don't forget the gloves and the hat. Cover up those digits, but still should be some nice weather, as it won't be raining or snowing, as we can often see at those football games in November. So 7-day outlook shows that chance of some showers early Friday. Temperatures will dip a little bit as well as that system comes through, down to 51 for Friday. Veterans Day on Saturday looks pretty pleasant, 55, and dry for any ceremonies that are happening that day. Then look at the nice mild weather that sets in on Sunday. Highs at 60 degrees from Sunday through the middle of next week. Slight chance of a rain shower pops back into the picture on Tuesday.
So for sure the frost is out there. No snow just yet across the Treasure Valley, but you know it's coming. And crews across Idaho are working to make sure the snowplows that clear the streets, so they're up and running, in working condition, and ready for when that snow falls. Nampa needs help naming a few of theirs, though. City of Nampa asked its kindergarten through 5th grade students to come up with names for the city's snowplows, and they've done that, and now they want the rest of you to help pick the winners. So we thought we'd share some of our favorites that they came up with, these kindergarten through 12th grade or 5th grade students. How about this one? We got Baby Snowda, Pepe Le Plow, Snowway, that's a decent one, Buzz Ice Clear, and You're a Blizzard, Harry. I'm not sure what that one means. Sounds all right, though. Baby Snowda's a good one. I like that. Check out all of those names. Vote for your favorite. City of Nampa's Facebook page. There's a link there to vote. The poll closes coming up on Monday, the 13th. Winners, they're going to be announced sometime after Thanksgiving. Final minute of the show, time to get to your comments. We got this one from Larry who asks, what is wrong with voters? They want more services but want them for free. Wake up, it takes tax revenue to support more services. In reference to the Valley County bond for fire and ambulance services or ambulance services. Now they got commissioners, but they did not approve the way to pay for it. Ada County Jail, maybe a better solution would be combining the jail between Ada County and Canyon County, splitting the cost over a larger base of taxpayers, says Mike and Meridian. Of course, they have their own problems in Canyon County when it comes to spacing. Only in Idaho and one other state does 34% of a minority decide the future of fire stations, school buildings, ambulance services, and many other bond issues. What happened to a simple majority rules? That's pathetic, says Steve. Well, this goes back to when Idaho was a state. The 2/3 majority, supermajority, has been in effect. And I looked it up. Since 1990, it's been trying to bring that down 11 times. All 11 times, it's gone nowhere. So it's up to the legislature, and they've kept it that way. We'll see you tomorrow.